I gotta say, this is the one thing that's come out of Bidenomics that I'm excited about, which I'm happy about, is to see people are going to be paying less in taxes. And the standard deduction is going to go up a little bit more because it's going to count a little bit more of your income. So I'm pretty happy about that. The IRS just released new tax brackets. And here are 3 things that you're going to need to know about how this impacts you and your family. Now, if you're just tuning in, my name is Christopher Yule, and we cover the biggest headlines of the day and what the AI trading data says about it. So if you're interested in that too, be sure to definitely hit the subscribe button down below and start trading with AI today. Head to ovtlyr.com to see why outliers win. So let's take a look at it. The IRS sets new tax brackets and standard deductions for 2024, and it adjusts the tax brackets by 5.4% amid still high inflation. So let's take a look at what the first thing you're going to need to know is. The higher limits for federal income tax brackets and standard deductions are intended to avoid a phenomenon known as bracket creep. So, bracket creep here. This happens when taxpayers are pushed into higher income brackets, even though their purchasing power is essentially unchanged because of inflation. Inflation's been hitting so hard, so fast, everyone out there. And the IRS is like, listen, we get it. You're probably going to be earning a little bit more, so we're going to bump up the tax brackets a little bit. Hopefully you're earning a little bit more. But in reality, that's not what we're seeing out there, right? The IRS can hope that you're getting more in your paychecks, but that's not what we've been seeing. Starbucks has been so excited about their 3% raises that they made a whole press release, giant article about it. And we're talking a 3% raise. Right? We're talking $3 on every 100 you earn. And that is what they called leading in the industry, right? They are above and beyond what everybody else is doing out there. And they're giving 3% raises. So even if you got a 3% raise at Starbucks, you're not going to be moving into a new tax bracket. But they did expand these tax brackets in a way to not financially penalize somebody who just moves from one into the other, especially if they are making some more these days, which I will give it to them, is one thing that actually coming out of Bidenomics is better. I will say this is a little bit better. The second thing you're going to need to know is the higher thresholds where tax rates take, let me try that again. The higher thresholds where tax rates take effect could mean savings for millions of workers across all income brackets. Now that actually I was excited to read, right? So the second thing is that they're going to be having savings for millions of workers across all income brackets. Well, how? How are they going to have savings, right? It's because they're moving up the tax brackets. Okay. So for example, they're moving it up by about 5.4%. So for a single individual, you're still taxed at 10%, up to $11,600, which in my opinion is robbery, right? These people who are making $11,000, they don't even be taxed anything. They can barely get by. And then of course the highest one at $609,000 is at 37%. So the third thing that you're going to need to know about these new tax brackets, let's go right here, is how they are changing, right? How are they changing? So be sure to take a screenshot of this, right? So the impact on married filers in 2024 and the impact of single filers in the top and bottom here, right? So let's take a look. In 2023, this was $22,000 for married buyers or married filers, and now it's $23,200. So they're expanding it a little bit from $22,089. Now it's $23,094. So the point, it goes along the way here, and that's the third thing that you're going to need to know is how that these have changed from last year. Now, this actually is beneficial. This actually is beneficial because if you're making more and you would have been pushed into a higher tax bracket. So for example, let's say last year you were making $93,000 or $89,000. Sure. Now this year you're actually paying less. You're actually going to pay less. You're going to be in this this lower income bracket here, or this lower tax bracket. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you made $89,000 last year, now you're going to be paying about 10% less in taxes, or 10 percentage points less in taxes. So that's pretty sweet. I got to say, this is the one thing that's come out of Bidenomics that I'm excited about, which I'm happy about, is to see people are going to be paying less in taxes. And the standard deduction is going to go up a little bit more because it's going to count a little bit more of your income. So I'm pretty happy about that. But that doesn't mean I like Bidenomics, but I'm pretty happy that they are showing these changes to the tax rate, which hopefully will be saving a lot of people a lot of money out there. So let's go take a look what the AI trading data says about Intuit. into it is the TurboTax processor, right? I use TurboTax myself, and I know all about how much it costs to use TurboTax, but let's say you're looking to invest in TurboTax after these changes here, right? We actually got a buy signal all the way back on October 13th, so about a month ago. And following these signal returns historically, you would have seen a 24.26% return. So if you want to be one of the first people to get your hands on these AI trading signals, go to ovtlyr.com to see why outliers win. Now let's go take a look at what the internet is saying about this, right? This person says, interesting way to order things in the first table. Maybe they want to be complicated, just like the tax code, right? What he's talking about here is this one, which I didn't show, which is how the 0 is at the very bottom, and then it starts at 11,000 up here, right? That was a very interesting way to order it, right? Let's see. They put that at the bottom. I'll never know why. How should I sort this? How should I sort this table? I just trust your judgment here. Let's go see what other people are saying about this in the comments here. The IRS, without congressional approval, can increase what one pays in taxes by changing the brackets without a vote of Congress. And this person says, by raising the bracket amounts, they're actually lowering taxes. But yeah, they can do that independently. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you happy about this? Or are you frustrated by this, right? I don't know what the answer is going to be. And I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works either. But it keeps telling me that one of these two videos is the perfect video in your YouTube feed today. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's Outlier Live. And I'll see you in the next episode.